victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Good morning! Area!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Let's go. Tuesday, baby. Can you feel it? That fall air. It's crisp. Got some rain here over the weekend. I think we're going to get more rain next week. As the seasons, they are a-changing. We're officially more than halfway through the NFL season. If you want to call it the halfway point, that's fine. But it's official now. Heading into week 10. Got Niners, Jags, Sunday in Jacksonville, both coming off a bye. Niners desperate. Jags are rolling. And all eyes will be on the red and gold and Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, Chase Young, who finally joined practice with the 49ers yesterday. 92. Looked good. It's big. Spoiler alert. He's a defensive end. We're going to hear from John Lynch, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, a little bit today as well, talking about the acquisition of Chase Young. Steve Wilkes, on the hot seat. Let's relax. You score some points offense. Break 20 last 3 games. Then we can start blaming Wilkes if you're doing that and still losing. God. Speaking of losing, that's not what the Golden State Warriors are doing. Another dub. No problem. Is what it is. Stephen Curry, 34 points. Not as great as shooting night, but D-My plus 17. 12 of 26 overall. A couple of assists, a couple boards. But when the team needed him, he was there. That's what he does. He's old reliable. That guy's just a walking bucket. We take him for granted. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. It is what it is. 120-109 out in Detroit. The James Wiseman revenge game. And how did James fare? Well, 11 minutes off the bench. 3 defensive rebounds. -6. Not great. And again, I talked about it yesterday. I don't want to hammer on the kid. He's a bust. And it's not looking good for his NBA career. Steve Kerr talked about him after the game yesterday. We'll hear from that. We'll hear from Curry. We'll hear from Draymond, CP3, amongst others. I want to hear from you. 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved. Either call or text. You can also hit us up on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. And also be sure to download the Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game and thousands of other stations, music, politics, aliens, food, whatever you're into. In that order. I don't know. I like everything. I like sports. I also like food. And we're coming up on some great food months right now. November and December. Oh, you kidding me? Because Thanksgiving at my place in a couple weeks, I'll actually be down at the in-laws. But growing up, you got your turkey, you got all this other stuff. When you're Italian, you got all the pasta. Come on. You got the cured meats, the antipasti, whatever the hell you want to call it, sure. You got everything. Yeah, and then you got your gravy, you got your stuffing, and all that. But got to have the pasta dishes, always. And then Christmas time, some cioppino. Oh, come on, let's go. Horrible time to get back to working out and getting back on my intermittent fasting. But you know what? Them the breaks. I splurged in October. I'm paying for it right now. Pushed the baby girl up some hills in Oakland yesterday. And if you've Any walking in East Oakland, those hills are treacherous, baby. You'll get the workout. Brought the little dog with me, little Miles. Baby Nora having the time of her life. Somehow turned into like 40 pounds during the walk up the hill. But it's fine. We persevered. We gutted it out. And that's what the Warriors did yesterday in Detroit. You like that? I always bring it back. Come on. Good morning to everyone. Just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school. This is the pregame show with Joe Spadoni. And I'm big into daylight savings time. It was kind of odd yesterday when you have kids, getting everything together because, it feels like 8 o'clock, but it's still 7. So the kids are a little more ornery, getting a little more wild. Get them in the tub, get them all cleaned up, all this sort of stuff. Oh, we still got an hour to go. Ah, boy. You got to put them at the same hour and same clock, all that sort of stuff. So, because schedule's important. If you've ever had kids or you're going to have kids, just realize sticking to routine is key. No routine with the kids, chaos. All right? And I should know. I grew up one of 10. Got 9 siblings. A lot of chaos in the household. In the Spadoni household, I should say, in the morning time. Speaking of chaos, as we swing it back to football, the New York Jets stink. Oh, my God. And maybe I should be more specific because the defense does not stink. They got studs over there. Sauce Gardner, guy's a beast. Quinnen Williams. But Zach Wilson? Come on. Thank you. And Jets are feeling like
You were the chosen one.
now. Aaron Rodgers was the chosen one until 4 plays in, and then the season looked to be a wrap. Now it's not over yet. Aaron Rodgers is throwing, I guess. We'll see. But Chargers take care of business last night out in the Meadowlands, 27-6. They get back to 500. Jets, they fall to 500, both 4-4. As the New York Jets, yeah, you got to see him again on primetime next Sunday night. Jets Raiders, again at the Meadowlands. Can't wait for that. Aiden O'Connell for Zach Wilson, baby. I'll be locked in. And don't lie to yourselves. You'll be locked in too. You'll be locked into Panthers Bears on Thursday. You're going to be locked in at 6:30 a.m. All right. Patriots Colts out in Germany. And you'll be locked in Monday night. And Monday night's actually fine. Broncos been playing better. Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, taking on Josh Allen and co, who've been struggling. So you'll be locked in. All right. Don't lie to yourselves. And again, after we heard from Jay Glazer yesterday, you better not be sleeping on that Colts-Patriots matchup.
Don't ever talk about the Patriots like that.
Exactly. Thank you, Jay. You know who I am going to talk about that? Like that, I should say. Stephen Curry. Guys, unbelievable. And we were talking on Friday, the morning roast, Vontae Shasky, and they'll be on, don't worry, in T-minus, 50-plus minutes. Don't worry. It's a 50-plus minute tease, people. But taking him for granted, his space here in the Bay. And I get it. It's the Detroit Pistons. They stink. They're 2-6 now, 1-3 on the... They haven't been good since Ben Wallace was on the team, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, when they were foisting and spoiling the Lakers four-peat. But a win is a win. And for this team that struggled mightily, and when I say struggled mightily, I'm understating it. They stunk on the road last year. They were losing to Magic, this same Detroit Pistons team, the Sadiq Beys of the world. Like, that's who they were losing to. That can't happen. And again, another tight game yesterday in the fourth where they were down. Last season, probably lose that game. Yesterday, they didn't. They improved to 5-1. They're 5-1 on the road now. It's kind of unbelievable. Now, you can say, this is the Warriors we all know and expect, and Steve Kerr said as much last week. Last year was the exception to the rule, and I'm paraphrasing. It's basically what he said. This is what we're used to. And while that may be true, last year was still part of the legacy of the Warriors. That happened. So while we're moved on to this season, it's still in the back of our minds when we're watching, like, oh my God, this is night and day. It's crazy. Now, how long is that going to last? They keep winning like this. Yes. And again, most fans have already moved on. Obviously, Steve Kerr said as much to Anthony Slater, to Kendra Andrews. I've moved on. All right. And it looks like the Warriors have. Now, they got a huge test. Huge. Literally and figuratively. There's a guy named Nikola Jokic. I don't know if you've heard of him. Just moved ahead of LeBron James all time in triple doubles. No big deal. Had another one yesterday. Probably going to be the third consecutive, or not his third, because he should have won it last year. Probably going to win his third MVP in the last 4 years. Hot take. Him and Steph. I know. I love Steph. I'm singing his praises. He's up there. But Jokic, probably the leader in the clubhouse. Defending champ. Picking up where he left off. Dominating the league. Yeah, they are going to have a little meeting with the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night out in Denver. Jamal Murray's status, we'll see. No, he had a hamstring injury. That would suck if he wasn't able to play in this game. Disappointing injury update. This is 12 hours ago. Oh, no. No timetable for return. So he's going to miss the game. No Jamal Murray tomorrow. That stinks. But the Joker will be there. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., amongst others. My guy Brown, Christian Brown, not Braun, it looks like it. Always confusing me. Man, no Jamal Murray. That sucks. I'm just leaning. I was like, damn it. I really wanted to see them at their heights, at their peaks together, and we're not going to. We saw that a couple of years ago with no Murray in the first round. Denver won a game, but it was just like, Joker got his, but the Warriors like, that's fine. Get yours. And that's probably what they're going to do tomorrow. But you know what? Warriors aren't going to be like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you don't have Jamal Murray. This is sports. It's part of the game. You're going to miss people, right? It's a war of attrition. And, has to be said, last year, the Denver Nuggets were one of the healthiest teams throughout the year. They played damn near every single game. And when push came to shove at the end, they were left standing. You know, the Miami Heats of the world, the Los Angeles Lakers, they were gassed. Gassed. They were also older. Specifically, the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of older guys, a lot of wear and tear. Now you could say the Austin Reeves of the world, the Jared Vanderbilts. Young legs. But a lot of wear and tear on Anthony Davis, who, again, got hurt last night. Adductor, groin, strain. I don't even know what the guy just gets hurt. LeBron James, he's old. Still playing like a top 10 player, but he's old. So that's what it's going to come down to. And it always does in sports. Who's going to be the healthiest and who's playing the hottest at the end of the season. That's what matters. And tomorrow we get a little preview of potentially Western Conference Finals. Whew, can't wait. 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the YouTube chat. Search 95.7 The Game on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. We want to get a lot of likes. That's what we want. I mean, who are we kidding? We need the likes. We love the likes. And we love you, and we love your participation because it helps us. Specifically me, 5 a.m. solo dolo. I'm not always solo because I got Sam in the background. Sam Lubin, producer extraordinaire. Hero of the day. Some might say, shaky. All right. I won't air out your business. Don't worry. That's Sam. Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. New pod this week, Sam. We talking about David Ross getting kicked to the curb for Craig Counsell. A little hot stove. That's pretty. I like that. What do you think about that?
Batting stance talk every time you get a Craig Counsell.
Oh, God.
But how about our guy Logan Webb, Cy Young finalist? Who saw that coming?
Huge. Is he going to win, or is it going to be Gallen or Snell?
I think it's going to be Snell out of the three, but I'm comparing the three last night, just kind of like, let's see who leads what. Logan Webb's got a case. I don't think he wins, but good on you, Logan. Fair enough.
Hey, you know what? That's the high mark of the season. We'll take it.
There's your Giants talk for the day.
There you go. That's Sam Lubin, Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. Find podcasts, weekly. It's going to start getting hot here, hot stove. Maybe a couple a week with him and Joe Shasky. They're doing a great job breaking all things black and orange. Orange and black, whatever you want to call it. I know. It's orange and black, silver and black. I know. Good morning to everyone on the Pregame Show YouTube chat. Luis Robertson, Sid, Monty, Travis P. Notice how he always has his hands on his hips no matter the minutes. Talking about Travis, I should say, and I need to be better at this. Come on, I'm a professional radio host, for God's sakes. And I dive into this. Steiny does it too. A lot of people do. You just start reading stuff off the chat that, you didn't proofread before. You didn't, look at it, and then you just started reading it. But Travis P was talking about Andrew Wiggins. And I'm already seeing a lot of this, even in a win. That's when I know we're back to Golden State Warriors basketball and everything's back to normal. Even with the win, Andrew Wiggins. Because Warriors fans understand the big picture. They want a chip. They don't care about regular season wins at this point. They want to win. And Andrew Wiggins right now, not in the closing lineup, in a tight game, 4 points, 2 of 9. Yikes. Are we officially concerned about Andrew Wiggins' play? 888-957-9570. I didn't want to do that, but if that's what the people want to talk about, we'll talk about it. I mean, they won yesterday. And Steve Kerr said it yesterday. I'm not worried about it. Take some time. The defense is still there. Well, he's never been first team all body language, Andrew Wiggins. Up there with the Jay Cutlers and Amari Coopers of the world. Not the greatest body language when he's going through the motions on the court. Now, that's one thing. Brandon Belt was like that too. And no more Giants talk. Don't want to get Sam started on Brandon Belt. Or JT Snow. Don't touch that mic. Get back to what you're doing. But Andrew Wiggins, when things aren't going right, and even when things are going right in wins and losses, fans have to find someone to be upset with. We can't help ourselves. We just can't. I'm guilty of it. I am. Scam Reddish, what are you doing? Make a three-pointer that's wide open. Austin Reeves, make a three-pointer. Lakers stink. I digress. But we do it. We have to find something wrong because it can't be Curry, can't be Draymond, can't be Clay. Not right now. Can't be CP3. Not yet. Not yet. Although, if you want to hammer Chris Paul in his shooting, hasn't been the best, but you know what? Had 2 of them yesterday. 2 of 3. It's getting hot. 6 of 9 overall. 17 points. 6 assists. Plus 13. Second on the team and highest plus minus. Steph obviously the first. But we can't help ourselves. So even when the wins are coming and they don't stop coming, Shout out Smash Mouth. R.I.P. We have to find a scapegoat. We do. We can't help ourselves as fans. And here's Steve Kerr talking yesterday about why the starting 5 has yet to find their rhythm together. And maybe Andrew Wiggins is a part of that.
It's still early. I think it's a very small sample size. So I think I will lean into the fact that they've been a great group for 2 years now. But I think it's probably a combination of just some slow starts, Draymond being out all of camp, Wiggs obviously slow starting this year. They just haven't found, that group hasn't found the connection defensively. And that's where they've made their mark in the past. We've always had a great defensive rating with that team. And so far, it's not good at all. So they need to step it up defensively. We got to start games out better.
That is something that has lingered. The slow starts, not great. Now, you're playing a bad Detroit Pistons team. They're not very good. They're not going to be good all year. You should have handled them, and you did. You won the game. That's all you care about. Last year, again, they weren't winning these kind of games. Close, on the road, doesn't matter the opponent. They were losing these games. So we'll check that box off. Good. Okay. But again, this is a championship expectation year for the Golden State Warriors. It's not good enough. We have to get a microscope out, pick, prod, see what's wrong. And right now, Defense? Andrew Wiggins? Right? Who else am I missing? Chris Paul shooting? Better yesterday. Encouraged. The young guys? Encouraging. Draymond, Clay, Steph? Been very encouraged with all of them. Clay, smarter shots? Thank you. Draymond, doing what he does. Distribution. High-level defense. Steph, MVP candidate. Reigning Western Conference Player of the Week now. So, I'm feeling good. If the positives outweigh the negatives this early on in the season with a championship level roster, which I believe they have, I'm feeling good. And that championship window, again, might have gotten a little more open, depending on how severe this Jamal Murray injury is. And it's early. Soft tissue, though, is very concerning with a player as dynamic as Jamal Murray. So, again, the teams we're all thinking might be there at the end, they may not look the same. Hell, last season, Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, hell, going into the semis against the Warriors, there were 2 months together. Totally different team. And I'd be willing to wager, heading into this season, into this postseason, one of these contenders may look drastically different. That's what happens. Things change. What's the old saying? But the more things change, the more they stay the same. And that same unit and that same force is going to be the Golden State Warriors. I'm feeling damn good about this team. I don't know about you guys who are all negative Nancy out there in the chats about Andrew Wiggins. I'm feeling damn good about the Golden State Warriors' chances of going this year. I don't care if it's 8 games in. I really don't. You can say it's too early. Spadoni pumped the brakes. Still football talk. And we'll get into football. Hear what John Lynch had to say in regards to Steve Wilkes, Chase Young, amongst others. Niners, Jags. Huge game this Sunday. We'll have all that coverage leading up to it right here on 95.7 The Game. But I don't think it's too early to get excited about this team. I don't. If you think it is, let me know. 888-957-9570. Here's Stephen Curry asked about closing games and needing to be better before that.
That's a positive on the back end of, you want to control momentum a little better in the meat of the game when you have a team on the ropes, especially on the road, not giving them any life. So you're happy about games that are kind of go either way in the fourth. The close games we've won tonight where I think it was either we were down 6, I think, at one point in the fourth, and then end up winning by 11. So it gives you a lot of confidence that you can always, win any type of game. But we're very nitpicky around the way that we feel like we can play for 48 minutes. So you want to correct the mistakes in the meat of the game that doesn't make it come down to the wire every night.
More from Steph talking about the starting lineup struggles defensively, piggybacking off of Steve Kerr.
I mean, we're not getting as many stops as we want, which has kind of been our identity for a while. And when you don't get stops, again, we've played, 6 games on the road. You can let momentum influence the game. And the other teams getting confidence, and guys that, normally don't make shots start feeling a rhythm. And you saw the shots that they were making tonight. Guys off the bench, Killian Hayes had a night, and that can put you in a position where you're chasing a little bit. So we have to be a little bit better controlling the defensive end to start games to give ourselves momentum. We've talked about it. We know it. And I think we'll get there.
Real quick before the break, Joel in Soledad wants to join us. What's going on, Joel? You're on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, I think. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this, Sam. We're trying. This is the pregame show, so we got to get it, set the tone for the rest of the people out here. There we go. It's on a touchscreen. Joel, what's up?
Not much. Good morning.
Good morning. I love Soledad. I went to high school in Salinas. We played you guys many a times.
Okay. Yeah. What school were you
Palma
at?
High School. Palma High School. Shout out the Chieftains.
Palma. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my son played for the Aztecs. He was a linebacker. He was all-county linebacker.
Nice.
He played Palma, and I don't know what team you were on, but what year. But Palma played Soledad in the first round of the playoffs. Of course, Palma's just a way bigger program. They're just way better than. But Soledad played them in that game, and of course Palma won. But we ran pretty good against you guys, but they had a good squad that year.
Nice,
too, so.
Absolutely. Joel, what do you got on the Warriors?
Well, I just how wrong I was with Chris Paul. I mean, of course when we played against him, I was always not impressed with him, but seeing him on this team, I'm just blown away how steady he gets with the kids, the young guys, and it's a big difference. I think that's a big difference on this year compared to last year.
Absolutely. Joel, appreciate you chiming in here. That's Joel and Soledad. If you would like to chime in, 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Comcast Business text line. Shout out Soledad. Shout out Greenfield, King City, all y'all out there. Salinas, Monterey, Santa Cruz, everyone. The 831. It's my home, baby. Will never change. Although, East Bay's been my home now for about a decade plus. Love the East Bay. Shout out Oakland, California. San Francisco, everyone out there just waking up, getting ready for work, getting ready for school. We're going to react from Chris Paul on the other side. Joel was very wrong about him. I think a lot of Warriors fans were. I don't think they ever questioned the talent. It was all the stuff that comes with the talent, the on-court, bravado, the S-talk and all that sort of stuff. But he's fit in perfectly, especially with the young guys. So I want to get into Chris Paul on the other side as well. 888-957-9570. Warriors 120, Detroit Pistons 109. We're talking more about that dub. And the Warriors are 5-1 on the road. Crazy times. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Here's to shining.
Welcome back. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Thank you, Tim Roy. Yeah, you got Tim Roy doing your rejoins. You know you made it big. Come on. The great Tim Roy at Warriors Vox. Voice of the Golden State Warriors on your home of the Golden State Warriors right here on 95.7 The Game as the Warriors get it done yesterday in Detroit. 120-109. The James Wiseman revenge game. James. 0 for 3. Shooting the ball. 3 boards. -6. 11 minutes off the bench. Ah, boy. Tough. Very tough. What could have been with James Wiseman? What could have been? But what is for the Golden State Warriors is a team that's 5-1 on the road, 6-2 overall, taking on the Denver Nuggets tomorrow at Mile High. And they don't call it that. Is that only for the Broncos? Can we not say that for all the teams? I thought that was just like a Denver thing. We can do that, right? Mile High? Yeah, whatever. I don't know what arena it's called. But I do know no Jamal Murray, as he's dealing with a hamstring injury, soft tissue, no timetable for return. So that leaves the door open. Shout out Bruno Mars. That leaves the door open for a winning, yes, another winning road trip. 3-1 with wins potentially against the defending champions. And I know no Jamal Murray. I'm not worried about that. Let's get the job done. Maybe I'm looking too far ahead. I don't care. This is the matchup I've been circling all year. Them and the Lakers, but the Lakers stink right now. I'm not even worried about them. Same in the in-season tournament, maybe, if they advance. But the defending champs, how do they match up? Because a lot of Warriors fans felt like if they could have gotten past the Lakers last year, they matched up better with the Denver Nuggets. Going back to their success a season prior, first round, obviously no Jamal Murray then either. So kind of hard to gauge that when Jamal Murray's the team's second best player. But nonetheless, they felt like they match up. Draymond obviously guards Joker very, very well. Joker, by the way, if you just are joining us, moved into, was it third or fourth all time now? Fourth? See you, LeBron. Joker just, got another triple-double. That's what he does. And Joker has said in the past that Draymond Green guards him the toughest. So maybe there is something to what Warriors fans felt, that the Warriors are a better matchup in terms of being able to, handle the Joker. Because you don't really handle it. Even Draymond guards him well, but he's a walking bucket. Guy's pass is elite. Guy's got eyes on the back of his head. He's unbelievable. And his game is going to age gracefully because, again, the Joker's game isn't predicated on speed and athleticism. It's not. It's predicated on his massive body, being a beast at 7 feet tall. Guy trains with polar bears and saber-toothed tigers. Yeah, they ain't extinct. Not in Serbia. They got him out there. All right? That's who he trains with. And his horses. Shout out horse rating, the Breeders' Cup. By the way, I'm going to need some Jokic action. Whenever he retires, or even hell, during his career, I want to see Jokic at the Kentucky Derby. I need to see some Jokic horses. Come on, bring them over. Go against the big boys, Nikola. But, as I digress here, squirrel, his game's only going to get better with age. I truly believe that, which is scary because he's already the best player in basketball right now. It's unbelievable. Is he even 30? 28. Oh my God. Scary. Is there a chance he's going to be a top 10 player of all time? Nikola Jokic? Is there a chance? Because I'm looking at his career right now, and if it's predicated on Murray and his health, maybe not, because I don't care how good you are. Every Batman needs a Robin or a Justice League, whatever the hell you want to call it. The X-Men. But you need someone else. Jordan had Pippen. Kobe had Shaq. He had Gasol. Steph had the splash bro. You had Draymond. You had KD. Like, these guys need help. Jokic will still need help. If he doesn't have Murray, they ain't winning the title. Spoiler alert. I don't care how good Nikola Jokic is. I saw how that story ended a couple years ago. Now, I know there was no Michael Porter Jr. in that series as well, but I saw KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I saw, did I call him Pulp? That's funny. That's funny. I like that. Maybe I'll cut that. I like Pulp. By the way, high Pulp guy. No Pulp is weird. I'm not like Tony Soprano. Some Pulp. It's a deep cut for the Sopranos fans out there. But I saw how that story ended a couple years ago with the Warriors. KCP, Jokic, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, he got one game. Warriors dominated. Wiggins dominated. Steph dominated. Hell, Jordan Poole dominated in that series, right? So, no Murray. That stinks, but good opportunity for the Warriors tomorrow to improve to 3-1 on this road trip and finish the road trip on a winning note. Speaking of winning and the team's energy the last two games, Chris Paul, you're a good gauge of that, coming off the bench, get a good pulse of what's going on. What say you about the team's energy the last two games and what you've split?
It's good. I think, we definitely always happy that we can pile up wins, but we got to be better on the defensive end, always trying to get better on the offensive end. But I think everything starts with us on defense.
Chris, how you feeling about coming off the bench?
It's adjustment. I don't know how many games this is, but still getting used to it. And just like with anything, it's going to take time. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And here's Draymond Green talking about games with Chris Paul slowing down when he's in there for a stretch.
I think, we're doing a better job of getting whatever we want, when it comes to the end of the game. And, when you can, obviously we have Steph, but when you have a guy like Chris on the floor who can also get to whatever shot he wants as well in those situations, I think it's really good for us. And then also, he's not going to have the best defender on Chris. Steph will have the best defender. So, I thought it was really methodical and, that was good for us. We're starting to kind of pick that, add that to our book, if you will.
888-957-9570. Chris Paul's a Golden State Warrior. I love it. And I think Warriors fans are finally starting to love it too. Hell, it could have already taken one game when they were chanting Chris Paul's name. One game. That's all it took. And yeah, he's not going to be the scapegoat. We've already found our scapegoat this season. It's Andrew Wiggins. We found him. It's that guy. Anything that goes wrong this year, it's going to be Andrew Wiggins' fault. That's what Warriors fans are saying. Is that fair? I mean, this is the second best player on a championship team a couple years ago. Now, is that an outlier year? If you listen to Matt Steinmetz of Steiny and Guru, he seems to think so. He's more like this player we're seeing now throughout his career than we saw back in the 2021-22 season. Or 22-23, whatever. Yeah, no, I was right, 21-22. I hate basketball seasons because in football seasons, it all goes in different years. Baseball, one thing they do have over those teams, it's all in one calendar year. Helps me out a lot. Especially my old age at 30 years old. But really, I'm like 40, and when you have two kids, it actually adds like 5 years apiece to your age. So I'm actually like 40 years old at this point. But, again, to Steiny's point, it is something to consider. Maybe this is Andrew Wiggins. Maybe it is. Are you willing to consider that notion? And if this is the Andrew Wiggins we're going to get all season, he ain't winning a title. That's a fact. I know they're beating Detroit. They're beating Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if you're beating some of the other big boys in the West. 888-957-9570. We got one more break. Come on back. We hear from John Lynch in regards to the acquisition of Chase Young, how he feels about Steve Wilkes. John Lynch, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. We'll hear from him on the other side, plus a major announcement happened yesterday at Chase Center. And our very own Bonte Hill was a part of it. I'll tell you what that is on the other side on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon, iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon, and other gifts for the fam that they'll love this holiday.
Trade in your old iPhone and get a brand new iPhone 15 Pro and Apple TV 4K and Apple One.
All three on that.
What's your
one thing?
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. It's pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment here for you before handing it off to the morning roast. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky talking about that Golden State Warriors 120-109 victory against the Detroit Pistons yesterday. They'll also be joined by Brian Baldinger, our 95.7 The Game insider, NFL insider, I should say, and NFL Network analyst, former NFL offensive lineman. Baldy, one of the best in the biz, the Baldy breakdowns. You know him, you love him. Joins us 7:30 every week right here on 95.7 The Game in the morning roast. So can't wait for that conversation. Just who the hell are the Jacksonville Jaguars anyways? I don't know what to make of that team either. And I can't wait for the guys to ask Baldy about that. Trevor Lawrence looks really good at times. Looks amazing. Then he just throws these horrible interceptions out of nowhere. Like, Trevor, what are you doing? But the talent, you see it consistently. Why this guy was dubbed one of the greatest quarterback prospects of all time with the Elways, with the Lucks, and now Caleb Williams getting the comps as well. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the arm. He's got the hair. Most importantly, he's got it all. It's honestly interesting to look at the quarterback comparison between these two guys. We got one of the greatest quarterback prospects in history going up against Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy. It's fun. You can't, hey, it's the NFL, man. The scripts write themselves. That's great. I mean, and if that was a Super Bowl matchup, oh, are you kidding me? It would be dubbed, the greatest prospect ever trying to get the Super Bowl against Mr. Irrelevant. And it's like, I know, that's all nonsense. Brock has earned his place as a starter right now in the league with his play. He's been tremendous. But the last 3 weeks, the offense hasn't even scored 20 points. He scored 17. 17 points. But we're talking Steve Wilks. And general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, John Lynch, joined Tim Kawakami. He also joined, and that's of the TK podcast, he also joined Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, covers the San Francisco 49ers. Does a hell of a job. So you'll hear different mixes and matches here, but all the sound from those two podcasts respectively. Here's Lynch talking about still believing in Steve Wilks as defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers.
I keep saying it. We have a ton of belief. There's a reason we picked Steve Wilks. I think he's got what it takes. We obviously all have to show that. I know the players believe in Steve, and you can hear that, in a lot of their comments and just a lot of the way they feel, and that it's on them. It's incumbent upon them to play better so that everyone feels a little better. And
more from general manager John Lynch on Wilks having so much experience.
We knew it was going to be a challenge to replace D'Amico. D'Amico's a special person. He's a special coach, but we saw similar qualities in Steve. And I think probably the hardest thing is he's got so many years of experiences in different schemes. So when things start to struggle, what do you fall back on? And I think it's just finding what our identity is this year as a defense. Felt like it really probably Dallas was the greatest example of it all coming together. The rush and coverage was tied together, and we played the dominant style of defense that we're accustomed to playing. Cleveland, wasn't terrible. Minnesota was tough. We ran into a hot quarterback, and we didn't affect him enough. I think Cincinnati was the one where it just didn't look good.
Cincinnati is the one where it just didn't look good. That, to his point, the Cincinnati Bengals looked to be a tier above against the 49ers. They did. Now, you can say, and again, we're going back to the injuries. We're talking about that with Jamal Murray, who's going to miss some time, going to be out tomorrow's game against the Golden State Warriors for the Denver Nuggets. But injuries are part of the game. No Deebo Samuel, no Trent Williams. Hey, Bengals don't care. They had Joey Burrow on a hobbled calf. Now they might be out without Jamar Chase. We'll see with that back injury. That's concerning. But the Bengals, to John Lynch's point, they look to be a tier above the San Francisco 49ers back on October 29th. It looked to be that way. Now, with the Vikings, bad picks, fourth quarter, hot Kirk Cousins, happens. Browns, maybe you're feeling yourselves and you were buying too much into the hype. If you were a 49er and you're in that locker room, it felt like that. It felt like you slept on PJ Walker, Kevin Stefanski, Kareem Hunt, and all those dudes. Amari Cooper. So, what now? What now is you go to Jacksonville coming off a bye, and you need to stop the bleeding. You need to put the tourniquet on. Something. 49ers desperately need this win. Desperately. I'm not saying the season's over if they lose this game. No. Because the conference kind of stinks. Not even kind of. Conference stinks. I'm just going to say it. You got two legit Super Bowl contenders. Even if the Niners go 5-5 and they lose their next two, they have a 5-game losing streak. I still think they can go to the NFC Championship. And that's because of how bad the rest of the conference is, which is wild. Now, how does it look? We'll see. If this is a shootout and, last team with the ball wins, okay. It's tough. But it's all about how Brock Purdy looks, I think. The defense, sure, because if it's a shootout, then you got more problems on the defense. Steve Wilkes on line one, obviously, he's going to get roasted. Shout out the morning roast up in 10 minutes, Spadoni and Joe Shasky. But how does Brock look in crunch time? That's what everyone's going to be circling. Fourth quarter Brock Purdy. Can't have a pick. Can't have a fumble. Can't turn the ball over. He just can't do it. And I've already mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to throw you some bad balls. It's up to the defense to get those turnovers. That's the thing that bothers me about the Steve Wilkes stuff, because the defense has done its part in the turnover battles. They've gotten turnovers. That Bengals game, they got the turnovers to get them back in. Irv Smith Jr. fumble. The hell was that, by the way, Irv Smith? Yikes. They've gotten the ball back. But the 49ers offense just stalled. They couldn't do anything with it. Brock throws these picks like, what the hell are you doing, Brock? So who can limit the mistakes in this game? It's going to come out on top. Hot take, but, sometimes it's that simple. Limiting the mistakes. Brock Purdy, when things were going well, he wasn't making mistakes. You saw the wheels fall off in that Browns game. Going into it, didn't have a pick. Got a pick in that one. A couple in the Vikings game. A couple in the Bengals game. 3 straight losses. Sometimes it's as simple as that. But, going back to the defense, got some help. John Lynch, talk about adding Chase Young, former teammate of Nick Bosa at The Ohio State University.
I think what we know is this 3-game losing streak, whoever we added, that wasn't just going to be the difference. We've got to do a lot of things better to get back to that team that was playing in those first 5 weeks that most of the league felt like was a tough team to deal with. And we got to, Chase Young's a terrific football player, one we're really happy to add. But, if I promise you our guys don't think that's the magic pill, he's going to make, all the difference. We've got to start getting back to who we are as a football team. And I really do believe we will.
He believes they will. We'll see. The defense has been disappointing. The offense in crunch time has been disappointing. But Kyle Shanahan, after bye weeks, has not been disappointing. In fact, this was from my guy Kyle Madsen over at ESPN 1320, formerly of 95.7 The Game, and Kyle obviously covers the team for Niners Wire, does a hell of a job. Love me some Kyle Madsen. He had this little stat-a-rooney, not a sack-a-rooney. Under Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers are 16-30 before the bye week. After the bye week, 36-16. So this team really goes into bye weeks, gets the rest, gets the recovery, gets their minds right, and more often than not comes out with their hair on fire. Will they do that this week in Jacksonville? They're going to need to. Because this is a team coming off 5-game winning streak as well in Jacksonville. That's why this matchup is so intriguing and so sexy. I know a lot of Niner fans, you're not really paying attention to the Jacksonville Jaguars outside of London games. They're not on your radar. Why should they be? They're an AFC opponent. They're not a blue blood organization. You don't have the hate there like you do with the Raiders, with the rivalry. It's not a polarizing franchise like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? It's not any of that. Or the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, none of that. It's the Jaguars. What they have is a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Peterson. Seen him before with Philadelphia. Shout out to Philly Special. You've seen Trevor Lawrence. Hell, if you're a college football fan, you've seen him a bunch. Was he the winner? Or is that Deshaun Watson? Out here in Levi's. Sam, can you hear me? It's all right. He's locked in. I'll look into that. We have the whole week. Maybe someone else can help me on. Was that Trevor Lawrence that won the championship at Levi's here? He may have. 888-957-9570. But those are the guys that you circle. Travis Etienne, his Clemson running back, now with him in the NFL. Josh Allen. No, not that Josh Allen. The other Josh Allen who just loves to sack the quarterback. They've got studs left and right. Calvin Ridley. When he's not betting on football games, pretty good player. Now, they haven't really utilized him that well this season. He's still dangerous. Christian Kirk, speed. They got a lot of speed on this team. If you're not careful, and we heard from Eric Crocker last week, obviously former NFL DB and Locked On 49ers podcast, talking with the Morning Roast. Charvarius, he gets grabby. When you get grabby with these speed guys, you get jersey tugs, you get calls, and it's not good. It's not good. But speaking of good, before I toss it over to the Morning Roast and Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky, Bonte hosting a little, announcement party at Chase Center yesterday as Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, joined Joe Lacob. I think Silver called him Lacob yesterday, which kind of threw me off. Peter Guber, Brendan Schneider, Mayor London Breed, all there at Chase Center, announcing the 2025 NBA All-Star, 2024, 2025 NBA All-Star Game, Chase Center, 2025. I was right. With my first instinct. They announced it yesterday. Very cool. Bonte getting to be involved in that. So I can't wait to hear them talk about that. Warriors winning, Niners, Jags, Brian Baldinger, 7:30, all that coming up next on The Morning Roast. I appreciate all you chiming in at 888-957-9570. This was the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, Morning Roast next, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Something big is visiting the Bay. Something heavier than 11 cable cars. 1,000,000 times older than the Golden Gate Bridge. Something